My name is Dan Rybicky. I am a documentary filmmaker and an associate professor at Columbia College, Chicago. Boy, I'll tell you, I think that seeing films as a kid that really had a huge impact on how I responded to the world did make me feel like wanting to tell stories in film could be a way to have impact on other people. So yeah, I think at an early age, I was definitely drawn towards that. Initially, was I went to graduate school at NYU for screenwriting and playwriting, and I literally started off my career writing screenplays in Los Angeles and writing plays. But I honestly think that I always just knew that watching documentaries was always more interesting to me, and that even a mediocre documentary always held my attention more than oftentimes a fiction film. And so as I got older, I felt like I also became more interested in seeing how the narratives and the story, the tropes that I was employing in fiction, to see how they really played out in real life if you followed real people's stories. And I became more interested in not putting words in other people's mouths, but seeing how the words that actually came out of other people's mouths could be, sort of like listened to and shaped into narratives. But after sort of trying a lot of things out in our 20s, I think that in my early 30s, I really took a moment to be like, well, what do I really want? Like, how do I really want to live? And like I said, I think life is about process. And the process of working in documentary, the process of being an educator is really satisfying. I think that it's really important to feel drawn towards someone or something in a really passionate, instinctual way, and want to pursue that subject or that person in almost a way to discover what it is that you're trying to find out that compels you so much. And only in retrospect and in sort of documenting that person or that story and in putting it together will you really understand and learn what it is that you were trying to say. Really find and pursue your passions, and stick to your guns and believe in yourself. Like, at the core, don't ever let anyone tell you what to do. Like, and then find, what does Mr. Rogers say? Look to the helpers. Well, look to the helpers and, ingest as much as possible, like ask questions and seek out films and filmmakers, and build your community and build relationships to those that you want to learn from and to those of your peers that you want to continue to collaborate with. It's, I think, always going to be important because it is essential to bear witness to what's happening, and it's always compelling because who bears witness to it and how the frame is composed is an insight into what people are thinking. So I think that documentary is always going to be a way of capturing time. And when I worked for Martin Scorsese, I I learned that he was putting all his money into preserving historical footage, and in his own time he was watching the History Channel. That there's something about literally watching documented footage that is essential and undeniable. For Columbia, I would hope, because of amazing students like you who are truly doing sophisticated and important work at such a young age, that documentary continues to grow because of the essential nature of what it brings to students in terms of insight, consciousness, compassion. I've always found documentary students at Columbia to be more often than maybe other programs in tune with what's happening in the world, able to listen to others in a way that I think is really important. One of the most important parts of being a documentary maker is that ability to listen. And so because Chicago is, you know, a hub for documentary in the world, I think that Columbia, you know, benefits from, you know, maintaining and expanding on a robust, you know, documentary program.